Hey all, welcome back to Awful Stories. I'm Matt, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe for daily videos. The first story we're going to cover is titled, My Husband Left Me Passed Out on the Floor While Sick and Then Got Mad at Me the Next Morning. I see him differently now. This was posted to the Relationship Advice subreddit by a throwaway account. We've been married for a few years and have a baby. We had relationship issues after the baby, but I thought we had resolved them, and he promised he would be better and all that. He did get better. He did his share around the house. And house chores aren't a big issue because he just does what needs to be done without complaint or comment. But something at the back of my head felt off. I never really explored the nagging feeling, but now I realize that he never showed me any extra care. In fact, he gets upset or easily frustrated with me if I cause any extra inconvenience. Not sure how I didn't notice until now. So, 2 days ago, I think I got sick. I was feeling that gross thick skin feeling and vertigo, lightheaded, I don't know. And by nighttime, I was shivering and freezing. I was still able to function, so I didn't think much of it. I complained to my husband about it, and then we went to sleep. Yesterday, I woke up feeling like my bones were lead. I don't know how I functioned yesterday, but it felt like autopilot. My boss messaged me with some tasks, so I did them on my phone before my baby woke up. I rolled out of bed and somehow took my sister to school, came back and worked some more. Usually, I have the energy to flip between being a mom and working, but yesterday I just laid on the floor to work while my 1 year old watched some Ms. Rachel. Then I had to pick up my sister from school, come home to make dinner, and by the time my husband came home, I felt dead on my feet. Anytime I moved, it felt like I was lagging, and my body couldn't keep up. I told my husband this a few times. We ate, I put away the leftovers, and put the baby to sleep while my husband went to his office to do some quick work. After this, I don't really remember because my brain was foggy. I found myself in his office. We exchanged a few words, but I don't remember what. And the next thing I knew, I woke up alone in his office on the floor. I felt so heavy and out of it. It took so much effort to get up. But when I got out, all the lights were off. The kitchen was untouched, and he was in bed. I just stood in the kitchen and realized that he just doesn't care. I already knew he wasn't going to clean the kitchen tomorrow, and that he didn't care I felt off. I had a busy day planned, and I didn't have time to wash all the dishes the next day. So, I loaded the dishwasher and then went to bed. I laid down, and 5 minutes later, my husband, very angrily, told me to turn off the lights in the kitchen. At this point, I had no energy to deal with him, so I ignored him and fell asleep. The next morning, today, I woke up covered in sweat, but that gross feeling was gone. That's when I realized that I was sick. My husband was upset with me. He wouldn't talk or look at me and was stomping around. I tried to ask him about yesterday, but he just grumbled something about me confusing him. Everything from yesterday caught up, and I just can't see him the same. I realized that he has never taken care of me or done anything that was inconvenient for him. I've been sick before, and every time it's the same thing. He gets upset at me somehow. After I had a baby, he was upset that nothing was kept up around the house, yet got angry with me when I fainted from overexertion at 2 weeks postpartum. I remember him yelling at me that I did this to myself, and it's my fault for not taking care of myself. Even though just 2 days before, he was telling me that he was angry with me for not keeping up with laundry, and that I needed to clean the kitchen because it was starting to smell, and he didn't want to cook anymore. Don't even get me started on how he never woke up at night. All these memories hit me, and I'm just disgusted by him. How did I not see this? What do I even do? I'm going to stop here before the post gets too long. Edit. He just texted me saying he's beat and could barely brush his teeth this morning. I don't even know what to respond. I can't believe I took care of this man every time he got sick and after 2 surgeries. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what OP described, this man absolutely knew she was lying there, feeling sick and foggy, and didn't do anything. No concern, no checking in, no reaching out, just turned the lights off and went to bed. Then he had the audacity to get mad at her for leaving a light on. What the fuck is his issue? It's mind boggling how someone can be so indifferent to their partner's obvious distress and then act like the victim over something as trivial as a light being on. Personally, if I found my partner like that, in that state, I'm calling the ambulance. This doesn't sound like just a bad day or tiredness. It speaks to a deeper lack of empathy, caring, and emotional support. This is a huge red flag, and OP should run for the hills. Desperate to Not Dream said, You didn't leave the room. He did. That means at some point, you were lying on the floor, and he walked out, left you there, and just went to bed. Scroll Girl said, Read your post, reread it again, print a copy, and hang it on the wall if you need to. This man does not care about you, and you know that. At least go stay with family or friends for a few days to get help with the baby while you recover and get your head together. The second story for today is titled, Husband's Fetish Disgusts Me, but I Don't Want to Leave. This was posted to the True Off My Chest subreddit by a user named Traditional Depth. My husband has a diaper fetish. I really am not familiar with the terminology. I don't think it's an ABDL thing. For context, we have been together 18 years, have no children, and purchased our first home together in November 2024. We previously rented and had been together 4 years before moving in together, so we pretty much knew everything about each other's habits and what to expect. The house we were renting fell under foreclosure, and it was extremely stressful for me. He expects, and I don't mind, for me to handle the big things. The landlord tried to illegally evict us starting in July 2024, and it was just a huge pain to be constantly stressed until we were finally able to purchase our house. I was aware of the we'll call it a thing, as I did find some diapers under the bed at the old house a few times, and a receipt for them in his glove box while looking for the EZ pass. But the incidents were so few and far between that I didn't really pay any mind. However, I admit that my housekeeping and cleaning suffered toward the end before moving, and I guess I wasn't really paying attention or looking for or expecting anything like diapers. Fast forward to the new house. It's the week after Thanksgiving. We both work full-time retail jobs, so there isn't a lot of time off. We were living out of storage tubs and boxes for a while, waiting for new furniture. I noticed some liquid around my husband's clothes bin, and to my horror, I opened the bin, and there was a piss-filled diaper leaking out of a crack in the bottom of the bin. I was so disgusted, embarrassed, speechless. Before we moved, I had asked him if he needed to continue with this thing in our new home. Could he please be more discreet? Like dispose of used things and either throw out the garbage or cover it really well so I couldn't see anything. I waited a week to confront him about the mess, and he snapped. He told me that he has been doing this since he was a boy, that he likes it, and that if I didn't like it, there's the door. I was stunned. Not the first conversation about this. He does not wear them, at least not to my knowledge. Hence, I say not an ABDL thing, but I wouldn't know. He says he likes the feel of jerking off into them and using baby powder because it's more comfortable than using lotion or lube. Fine, I have dildos, and he compares his things to my dildos, and I'm sorry, I don't agree. I've even caught him using one of my toys by himself, so riddle me that. I have even worn some diapers for him, but clearly neither of us was into it together. And that's fine. If that's what he wants to do in his alone time, that's his choice. It affects me when, after we're done watching TV for the night and about ready for bed, he tells me to go to bed but stays in the den. He stashes things in the center console of his truck, in his recliner, and in our shared closet. In the closet, they're just thrown there. I find the yellow closure tabs all over the house, stuck to furniture, carpets. Last week, the toilet wasn't flushing properly. I removed the tank lid to find a diaper. Like, what the fuck? I know he doesn't cheat on me, and I don't cheat on him, but this diaper thing is getting ridiculous. It is affecting my mental health, my sleep, my sanity, and our relationship. I sleep on the couch almost every night. I am disgusted when he wants sex, after I know he just used a diaper. He has been giving me grief lately for sleeping on the couch. We went on vacation the last week of August. I booked a queen size bed, but the hotel made a mistake. He doesn't believe me. But sleeping in my own bed felt so good. P.S. I am now a huge advocate for sleep divorces. Anyway, he is entitled to his alone time. I am not denying him that. I just wish he would have more discretion and respect. We are both so stubborn, independently wealthy, have no joint accounts, and the house is solely in my name. So splitting up would be no problem. The problem is that I still want him. I welcome comments and advice, but please be nice. Don't leave any mean comments. I do not know what I'm expecting by posting this, but it is easier to vent anonymously. I could go on, but my fingers are tired. Stay well. Be kind. Okay, so this was a tough read. He is repeatedly involving OP in his kink by creating stinky and unhygienic situations around the house. And this doesn't seem accidental. It looks like he wants OP to be part of this humiliation, which is often a big component of this fetish. Asking him to keep these things private, just like watching porn or indulging other interests that OP doesn't share, is completely reasonable. Nobody thinks that leaving diapers leaking and tossed around the house is healthy or respectful. OP needs to stop being manipulated into participating indirectly. A clear and firm boundary is essential. Everyone can have their kinks and fetishes, and no judgment there. But what OP is describing sounds manipulative and far from consensual. Respect and discretion are key, and if those aren't present, it's unhealthy for the relationship. Both Mud commented, I'm sorry, but your husband needs therapy. It is fine to have a kink, but not disposing of his kink products correctly is unhygienic, rude, damaging to your home, and just outright disrespectful of the fact that others use the space. Jessia Wakefield said, "Every day, Reddit shows me I might be living inside an actual Disney movie romance. I must practice more gratitude. My husband doesn't eat shit. He doesn't leave sexy, piss soaked diapers around the house. He doesn't wear a scary mask with the intention of startling elderly neighbors to death. He doesn't kick my cat. He takes my mom to the doctor, and not because he punched her out.